and welcome to a new video. You join us on day 3 of the France-Belgium road trip just before we entered the sanatorium that you've just seen in the little teaser. So let me start by saying that this wasn't a place that we planned at the beginning of the trip. We basically just found out about it and decided to check it out, knowing absolutely nothing about it apart from a few pictures of the place that we'd seen online. When we arrived, we drove around looking for a suitable place to park, pulling up at this little gate that we had planned on climbing to get into the building just behind it. And on this day we had got a reasonably early start, knowing that it was a big location and it would take us several hours to look around. But what we didn't expect is when we arrived we'd be met by some of the locals. Morning. Bonjour. And then a few more of the locals in the form of workers arriving at their place of work, which happened to be part of the sanatorium that we had just parked outside of. I don't think this bit's abandoned. Car. Truck. So we decided to move the car to another spot down the road, hop a small ditch, walk over the fallen bit of fence, and we were in. How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're at a pretty cool place. A pretty old, pretty trashed, I will say, place, but the history behind this place is what made me want to come and see it. This is an abandoned sanatorium. Let's go. So guys, check this out, we've literally just come under the fence. The first thing I met with is an endless hallway. Look at that. This reminds me actually of my early exploring days. Used to do a lot more destroyed places like this, but wow, that's cool. One thing we need to look out for though, holes. There are several holes in the floors with warning signs and stuff. This is just incredible. Like I said, this reminds me of the early days of exploring when we didn't find these like amazing abandoned mansions with loads of stuff left in it. They were more like just the husk of a building, and this is very much like that. It's so cool though. I quite like these sorts of places, to be honest, because it sounds silly, but one of my favourite things to do at abandoned buildings is just to chill and take in the feel and just sit and it's so quiet. You don't really get that with a lot of the buildings we do because they're always in built up areas. So yeah, it's quite nice to sort of see something like this again and just be able to like take it all in.
I can't believe how big this place is.
It's massive, isn't it? I mean, I can believe how big it is, but it's the sort of place I see other people explore and never done myself.
Yeah, I know.
Have you told Snow about the holes?
Yeah. Okay guys, we'll have a little wander around the ground floor and then we'll find a way up. Look at this.
That is huge.
I wonder if this was like a dining room or something.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So guys, check this out. We've just come to this room and this looks, it's absolutely massive. Again, look at the size of Colin compared to the ceiling. It's huge in here. This abandoned sanatorium is a place well known for being haunted, described on Wikipedia as one of the most haunted places in France. But that's not what I wanted to come here for. Since I started urban exploring, one of my favourite parts of an explorer is the sheer feeling of isolation, to be alone with your thoughts and soak up the decades of history around you. This massive structure, from what I can gather, appears to have been built in stages and have different uses for different parts. I've also had to translate a great deal of the history I found from French, as well as having to deal with conflicting sources, so hopefully the majority of it is accurate. A preventorium, which was a building popularised in the early 20th century, was used to house patients who were infected with a disease, usually the likes of tuberculosis like in this case, but didn't yet have an active form of the disease. On this site, a preventorium was opened on the 1st of May 1931. The idea of a preventorium was to isolate patients but give them access to plenty of ventilation and sunshine, as it was thought to help in coping with the disease. This spot being open and up high was perfect for that purpose, and due to an increase in the tuberculosis disease, plans to build here were agreed and put into action after 1929. The sanatorium part of the complex, known as the Clinical Lanek, which can be seen on the west side of the property, did not open until 1932. There are 3 three immensely long parallel buildings that comprise the main parts of the hospital that could hold up to 400 beds. There are several other buildings which are related to the main complex dotted around the grounds, and researching it seems that some of these were later built nursing homes, geriatric buildings, and other bits and pieces. The hospital comprised of over 200 members of staff that would help take care of all the patients, and from what I could gather, continued to function throughout the war. In fact, on that point, I did find stories that told of the director of the hospital creating false certificates for Jewish patients. This allowed them to remain at the hospital instead of being sent to camps, and in doing this, he saved many deaths in the process. By the 1940s, aided by the war and the already outdated practices being performed at the hospital, it was only running at a third of its capacity, and in 1946, when they opened a much larger tuberculosis department, it wasn't to live long before it became obsolete. Newly created tuberculosis medication meant that the need for the services of the hospital was dwindling, and by the 1960s, a large chunk of the hospital was already derelict and disused. In 1962, the sanatorium was transformed into a medical education institute for a time until 1980, when it was then used to house patients suffering from rare diseases. The site eventually met its end when it was closed for good in 1990, having only been in operation for a little under 60 years. It was then bought by the city of Drew, which is another word I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly, for a single symbolic franc and kept as a site of historical significance. Rumours of ghosts of the sanatorium are indeed rife, due to the number of patients who lost their lives on the site as early as 1933, very soon after it was opened. Legend also says that the soul of a 14-year-old girl would wander through the place and has been reported to have been seen on many occasions by visitors to the site. Unconfirmed reports of possible sexual offences happened on the site, as some young patients reported symptoms of bleeding from sensitive areas that the cause could never be determined. Maybe this explains the ghosts of the young girls, still disturbed by the treatment they received at a place that was supposed to help them. Also, in June 2016, a 19-year-old man fell to his death after he lost his footing and fell from one of the tallest buildings at the sanatorium. After this incident, the decision was made to close off the site entirely, with sturdy metal-sheeted fences around every building. But as you will see through today's explore, this has not stopped people getting in. So I completely lost the other guys. I have no idea where they are. I'm just walking through these corridors on my own. But it's actually quite cool. Like I said, I love these sorts of places. Got to be seriously careful. There's holes in all these floors. I think they're quite solid, as long as there isn't a hole in them, but seeing holes like that does creep me out a little bit. The last thing I do is fall through that. Right, I'm gonna head off upstairs now, so we could find. We'll be careful though, because these stairs aren't the best. Yeah, as you can see, there's like wooden barriers. There's no barrier on this one at all. Connor's just pointed out, there's we knew there was a water tower on site anyway, but you can see it through there, which I didn't even spot. We're gonna go and fly the drone now, because I think there's a perfect spot on that roof over there. So we're gonna head out on this bit here, which is above the walkway when we first came in, but apparently it's solid, so hopefully we won't die. So I've just finished flying the drone out there. We're going to check out this building, and I think we might go and check out the water tower. But one thing I've noticed from the drone footage is there's actually loads of other buildings dotted around. We're currently in like one little complex. I say little, it's fucking huge, but one complex. So we've definitely got a lot more to check out. Is that a swimming pool? It is. You might see the outline just there. So my hands are shaking, it's freezing. There's a little pool. Might have to go outside and check that in a minute, because I should be able to get to it from that building we was in a minute ago. Yeah, right, we'll go and check that in a minute. How mature. Oh, brilliant. Look at that. And yes, I am wearing shorts in January. Yeah, check this out. I think it is a pool. Very old-fashioned looking pool, but it does look like a pool. So you've got the wall here, and yeah, it goes all the way sort of over that side. It's funny because I couldn't even see that on the drone footage, but yeah, it's probably because of all these trees and stuff in the way. Right, there's one more building here as well. If we go back into this one, there's a little bit of a walkway just here that leads into this one. So let's go and see what's in there. So just going to this one, and I think there's a stage. That looks very much like a stage to me. Is it a stage? Oh wow, look at the ceiling in here. I think it is, because if you look at the floor is like a parquet floor. So it's almost like a dance floor or a dining room or something. And I'm pretty sure, there's even a little balcony. How cute is that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it's a stage. You can see people having airsoft fights in here, because there's literally bullets everywhere. I've just noticed here, there's a ladder. You can't even see it, it's really dark, isn't it? But there's a ladder just opposite the, there you go, the screen, or wherever the stage would have been. So I'm wondering, actually, there might be some interesting stuff up there, because it could be like projection room or just lighting and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have a quick climb. That ladder looks quite steady. It's a big old metal one. We'll see what the floors are like when we get up there. But yeah, I'm gonna put this camera down for a sec, and I'll see you guys at the top. So there's definitely been someone staying here at some point, because there's like food and things down here. But yeah, this would have been a projector room. There's all wiring on the wall there, but also if you look through here, that looks straight out on that stage. Looks like this is been the spot for the projector to go through, and you've also got some little bits so the projectionist could look through. One little room over here. Floor looks okay, good. It's just, oh, look, you should have a toilet, and it's got loads of flies in it. Time to go, because they will follow the light. Right, I'm gonna head back downstairs and actually try and meet up with other guys. So I'm gonna put this in my bag. See you guys in a minute. Oh my god. Oh my god. I thought this was just a small building, and then it leads into another endless corridor. This place is huge. So I'm still walking down this massive corridor, which seems to be leading me into an entirely different area. But I've just come across this. Obviously we've seen some of the lift, but this one's actually still got the lift in it. It's also been blocked off with this door. If I turn my torch on, get my pocket, you can see this is actually still the lift. The actual, you know, the boxy bit. Jeez. So that means there must be like a basement below this as well, I think. And, oh yeah. Yeah, there is. Oh, God. This looks like a labyrinth down here. Bloody hell. Oh my God, it's huge. I'm completely alone as well at the moment. It's absolutely massive. It's kind of freaky. Oh God, it goes down even further. Jesus, how big is this basement? So under here we've got, it looks like the boiler room or something. What the fuck are these? Maybe to stop flooding or something? What's that? Oh, there's a cool bit of graffiti on there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to watch my steps. The drop's quite big. Okay. It's just a whole labyrinth of tunnels. And I don't think I need to go and show you everything down here, because there's probably not much to show you. It's just the under the boom. But look how long that goes on for. There's like, I see a staircase at the end of this. Looks like it leads out somewhere. It's starting to feel like we're going downhill, which is a bit unusual. What's that? So I've just seen newspapers on the floor. What are the dates on these? I don't know. Date on that? Does that say 1946? It does. It does. I don't know if you guys can see that. The date on that. 21st of April, or Avril, 1946. That's insane. La vie. So that's just after the war. Literally just after the war. Was it 1944? World War II ended? Bloody hell. Right, so we've got another stairwell there. Well, that leads outside, but it looks like there's a fence right there. So if we go up the stairs and see... Sorry, I was just about to go upstairs, but I've just seen this on the wall. Someone's done a Ouija board. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of people that come around and do ghost hunts here. So that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. We actually were talking about doing this at night, but I really wanted to get drone shots. So some more evidence of airsofting here. I think this is supposed to be like a fake grenade. But I hope it's fake. So we caught back up with the guys, and there's another underground bit I didn't actually notice when we were down earlier, so gotta check that out. What is in here? Oh, a toilet. It's honestly miles and miles of tunnels down here. Yeah, it seems to be that everywhere. I wonder if they're doing little test cuts to see what's inside the walls. Oh, this is a kitchen. This is a kitchen, because this would have been the extractor hood.
Do you know what, you are right. So that room above us that I walked to earlier was an eating area, potentially.
Yeah.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is definitely a kitchen, because this would have had all the extractor, yeah, the fans out there. What the fuck was that?
Hello?
So it did just fall off the floor, did it? Off the ceiling? What's that? Is that another? That's a smoke grenade.
Where?
Just here.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Smoke grenade.
Smoke grenade. Right, so this bit we've just come into, I'm pretty sure is a kitchen. And so this up here is the old sort of extractor hood. Recognise that straight away. And you can see where the extraction fan would have been as well. And all these foundations would have been for like ovens and stuff which have been bolted down to the ground. And probably gas pipes and all sorts of things. So yeah, I'm guessing upstairs above this, that room that was up this way, must be like the dining room area. So you remember I've already been in this room, I think, but it didn't come this way. Another big room. I wonder what this was. Got like some offices or something there. A couple of offices. And then like a big, maybe like maybe a communal room. Oh, it's the, see, I said about the offices. I said this would look like offices. This probably would have been like where you grabbed your food and then you went and sat out there. Yeah, that makes sense. And actually, this is the remains of a dumb waiter, which is like a food lift. How cool is that? Yeah, it goes straight into the basement, which is where the kitchen would have been. Very cool. So this is where we are. Jesus, where the fuck is this? It's the middle of nowhere. So we've got, oh, there's a building over there. I can see a building through there, but it's got a fence around it. We've got a fence here. The building we came through was just over here. It's so overgrown you can barely see it. And then the building we've been in was actually over there, but you can't even see it anymore. Absolutely crazy. Right, we're saying tut-tut to the other guys again for a bit. I'm going to go and find the water tower. So, yeah, in about an hour, that's right, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at this. This actually looks quite wrecked, though. Just looking at the roof of this building, there's not much going to be left. But this is what I wanted to come and see, the water tower. Right, so we're going in here now. This is the water tower. No, I'm not climbing it. I'm not insane. There's not too much in here. It's just sort of smashed old buildings. Oh wow! And that's the tower itself. Look at that. That's very cool. So just got some shots on the drone of the water tower, which is just there. But we've got a few more buildings this way apparently. This is one of them, but there's supposed to be more further down as well, so let's take a look. Check this out. This is another building over there that we haven't checked out yet. This place is just huge. Well, you can probably saw that from the drone shots, but it's ridiculous. When you're actually on the ground, it feels massive. Oh, hang on, this isn't the big one.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's another one right there. So that's the big one. There we go, side that. Oh, actually, Colin, round here. Oh wow, that's quite cool. You seen the old toilets? Yeah. So guys, we're in a really big building now, right at the end, but check out the really old-fashioned toilets. They're quite cool. Look at the alien as well. He's having a wee. This one's definitely had some fire damage in it. Look at the ceiling. Oh god, yeah, innit? It's awful. In 2021, it was voted on and approved that the site would be sold to private developers for the sum of €950,000, which is a pretty good profit considering they paid £1 for it. The plan is to invest €100 million to breathe life back into the buildings once more, with family apartments, gardens, a hotel, restaurant, spa and eco-lodges all planned to be built. As yet, none of this seems to be happening, but it would be good to see the falling down remains reused and serving a purpose once more. Just be sure to watch out for the ghosts if you ever visit. That is it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed. We're going to head off out because we've got like a limited time today. We'll try and get a lot more explores done today. And obviously this was an absolutely massive one, so we've already been here far too long than we should have been. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know it's like a real smashed place, as you can see right here, but the history behind it was well worth coming and filming it just so I could talk about the history. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Please do go and check out Colin and Sandy's channels. They'll be linked in the description. And I'll see you guys again next time.